Hey guys, welcome to KC Kayak Fishing. My name is Crystal and today I'm super excited to go over a game-changing piece of equipment with you that we have recently added to our Old Town PDL 120s. Recently, Pacific Yak Angler has come out with a really handsome lineup of aluminum rudders to go with their aluminum tracks. And we are super lucky that we got to test these guys out for our 2024 summer fishing season. We put them to the test and we are excited to share with you the pros, the cons, and all the in-betweens of these amazing aluminum rudders. To be totally transparent with you guys, we are Pacific Yak Angler Pro staff. However, Kyle and I take our gear reviews very seriously and we try to give an honest review. And so that is why it's taken us this long to do this review of the rudder. We wanted to put it through rigorous testing in all kinds of different conditions. And so now that we feel like we really got a feel for this product, we know what we like about it. We know maybe a couple little things, minor things that could be improved upon. We feel like we're ready to do this review for you. This is the Pinnacle P3 by Pacific Yak Angler. And this thing, guys, has been an absolute game changer for all of our saltwater fishing needs. We mainly fish saltwater. We need the extra power, and this thing has delivered beyond our expectations.
Say this unique proprietary design.
Okay, this unique proprietary... This is gonna be hard for me. I don't know why this word's like a tongue twister. See, I'm looking at the paper. I gotta memorize it. 6061 aluminum. This unique proprietary design. GoPro, stop recording.
This unique proprietary design.
You're a jerk. He's a jerk. Okay. This unique proprietary design, I can say it now, is made with 1/8 of an inch marine grade 6061 aluminum. Let's talk about what's included in your rudder kit. So you have your spacers, aka rudder cord rollers, and you also get the hardware too, all the nuts and screws and everything to install it. These come with your pre-drilled holes for installation. Kyle and I actually didn't put the screws in. We actually like how it seems to roll a little bit better without. I mean, you can do it with or without having the screws in it. We had no issues. It seemed to work just fine. You've got your integrated finger lift slots right here. So these rudders come in anodized aluminum, or it can come already painted black. Kyle and I just painted ours ourselves. There is a little bit of a price difference in getting the raw aluminum versus having it already painted. So ours was super easy to paint though, totally up to you. We did spray our rudders with Rust-Oleum paint. It's a paint and primer in one. I don't know if you can see, but Kyle's is a little beat up, but Kyle is also really bad at lifting his rudder when he's beaching the kayak. So there's that. All right, let's talk installation. Installation for this rudder is going to be the same as any other typical rudder out there. We also are going to put a link in the description. We actually have a rudder installation video that we did previously. So if you are installing a rudder and you're not sure, we will walk you through the process step by step. So just look for the link in the description below. All right, let's look at differences. This is your stock rudder that comes with the PDL 120. First of all, the biggest difference is obviously this is plastic versus the aluminum. The aluminum, hands down, is going to give you way more performance versus the plastic. It's a lot more durable and it's going to help you push through that water. This thing, what we found is there's a lot of flex to it, especially when you're fighting current and waves, and therefore you're not getting the steering, you're not getting the maneuverability that you want in those waters. And then second, you can see the size difference. This one is a lot wider with a lot more surface area, which is obviously also going to propel you through the water a lot easier, a little faster, and give you some more maneuverability, especially like I said, in those nasty conditions or if there's a strong current. So this competitor's rudder, it does perform well for what it was designed for. It was designed to take that flex out of the stock rudder. However, it doesn't really improve your steering or maneuverability. All right, so we're gonna talk real talk. In the Facebook world, your kayak fishing pages, there's been a lot of discussion that we've noticed with people commenting that you don't need upgrade for your rudder. The plastic one is just fine, which for some people is probably true. If you're fishing freshwater, smaller lakes, ponds, I'm sure the plastic rudder would perform just fine. However, like us, we have specific needs, and there's a lot of kayakers who probably do have specific needs depending on where they're fishing and what they're fishing for. As you guys know, we fish primarily saltwater. Actually, that's all we fish. And we are fishing in big oceans when there's current and sometimes wind waves. And we also, we use pretty heavy equipment, which we will get into. We are going to show you our setup and show you how this Pinnacle P3 has made such a fantastic difference for our fishing. So if you guys want to up your rudder performance and have some more steerability, maneuverability, I don't even know if steerability is a word, but you know what I mean. The Pinnacle P3 is definitely a recommendation. It will change your kayak fishing game for sure. If you like your crummy, plastic, flimsy rudder from Old Town, then stick with it. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you one more tip when it comes to the stock rudder. So sometimes I keep this handy. It honestly doubles really well as a husband beater. If your husband is not behaving, all the flexibility gives you a little bit more. That's all it's good for. That's all it's good for. All right, guys, let's get into why exactly this rudder is a must-have for us. This is Kyle's Canon downrigger. As you can see, it is a hefty piece of equipment. So this itself actually weighs a decent amount. And then when we're trolling for salmon, we are using 8-pound balls, which is quite heavy, but it gets us down where we need to be. We like big balls. We're usually fishing anywhere between 100 to sometimes 250 feet of water. So having the larger downrigger ball gets us down lower where the fish are. And honestly, before we switched to the Pinnacle P3 rudder, we were doing circles. It was like NASCAR out there. I'm not lying. Basically, only left turns. There was no right turns happening, which was super, super frustrating. It's not only super frustrating, but actually sometimes quite scary when we couldn't turn quickly enough. You got a wave coming at you and you're trying to turn your bow into the wave, which is a lot safer. Sometimes it was really difficult to do that. And actually there was one time we were out there in Euclid where I was pretty freaked out. I had waves coming at me and I could not turn my boat around. I really could not. And so this Pinnacle P3 rudder has been a game changer also safety-wise for us as well. So those of you that don't know much about salmon fishing, this is our 8-pound weight and it goes down below us, down into the water, and it creates a lot of drag on this side of the kayak particularly. So this goes in the water like that, and if that wasn't bad enough, us crazies use full-size flashers as well, which also adds a lot more drag. So guys, when you take all this gear and you send it down in the water, that is primarily why we were doing left turns only before we upgraded the rudder. And to top it all off, we also fight our fish on the left side of the boat, which just creates even more drag. Why not? Even with all this stuff in the water, fishing from the left side of the boat, the Pinnacle P3 has made it so that we can still fish in a straight line. We can turn either direction without any issues at all. Bigger rudder means more turning power. That's all there is to it. Okay, let's talk pros and cons because nothing is perfect. So number one, this rudder is one of the only rudders on the market that actually was designed to improve your steering performance. So number 2 is the control of the Pinnacle P3 over the competitor's rudder, which is honestly not really that fair because they were designed for 2 completely different things. So apples to oranges here. So the third pro is that the Pinnacle P3 is heavier, and actually the Old Town stock rudder, there has been difficulty with it actually lifting up while it's in the water because it's much lighter. This one's a lot heavier, so it's not gonna lift up on you at all. So one of the only cons that we could come up with is because the rudder is heavier, there's gonna be a little bit more play in it. It might swing a little bit more because it is heavier. So it's not a plug-in and play rudder. You're gonna have to run a little bit more tension on it. A little bit of fine tuning, but I mean, really at the end of the day, that's a pretty small price to pay to have a huge increase in control and steering. So we've got these Yak Hobby thumb nuts, and it just makes it super easy to adjust your rudder cables. And if you don't have those, honestly, even just a small little wrench would work just fine, or a pair of pliers. So just be prepared to do that fine tuning when you first install this rudder, which really, like I said, is a pretty small price to pay to have a lot more control and steering performance. Okay, so con number 2, yet again, not the biggest deal, but because it is so heavy, you're just going to want to make sure you have your hand on the steering knob the whole time when you're lowering it and bringing it back up. If you take your hand off, it could smash down. You don't want to break anything or damage anything. All right, so let's talk which boats that this rudder will fit. This rudder will fit all the Old Town Sportsman models. So that's your 106, your 120, your EPDL, and Bigwater. So for you autopilot fellows out there, they also have included you. So Pacific Yak Angler also made a rudder called the Paddle, which works for the autopilot. You can find it on their website. I actually have the Paddle on my PDL 120, and it also works really well for my 120 too. Pinnacle P3 rudder is also available for wilderness systems kayaks as well. It will fit the ATAK, the Rudder, Tsunami, the Tarpon 105, 120, and 140. All right, guys, let's talk price. So your Pinnacle P3 is going to be $104.99. That's Canadian dollars plus your shipping. And that's your raw one. So it's not painted. It comes just aluminum. If you want the one that's already anodized black, that one is $129.99 plus shipping. Maybe you need to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here for a second, guys, because Crystal's not direct enough when it comes to the real talk of price. So $104.99 for the raw one, $129.99 for the anodized aluminum rudder. There are a lot of people that are going to say $100 for a rudder, and I've seen it. I've seen it on the Facebook groups. I've seen it on the forums. There's people that are complaining about paying that, but just to put it into some perspective for you guys, this is a Yak ATAK AR tube. Up here in Canada, I paid $75.80 for this. Now, this does absolutely nothing to improve the performance of our kayak. It just holds a rod. Even this stupid thing right here, this is the Wilderness Systems kayak crate. I mean, it is a great crate for people that use them. I don't use it anymore. It's great for holding your rods, tons of gear storage, but it's a plastic box. At the time of filming this video, this is for sale on Amazon right now for $170. And really, once again, this doesn't improve the performance of the kayak whatsoever. I mean, it's nice to be able to store some gear. I don't use it anymore, so anybody on the island or in BC that's looking for one of these, I could sell it, not for $170. It'll be a lot cheaper than that. Even this stupid thing was $80. All it does is hold the net. We've got a lot of money in these things. This thing, $300. $300 for the downrigger. Then you got to put braided line on it, which is another $60. Then you got to put...
Are you recording right now?
I don't know.
Because this is kind of turning into a rant. You need to get back on track.
Calm it down.
What the video's really about.
All right, Crystal just told me that I'm ranting. At the end of the day, these things cost what they cost. These are small independent companies that are just trying to make a buck. This stuff costs a lot of money to produce. So really at the end of the day, $104 for a rudder that is going to improve your kayak turning dramatically is a pretty fair price. And that's Canadian too. You guys in the States need to quit crying because you got the exchange rate too. We have to buy all of our stuff from the States.
All right, guys, Kyle had to go. He was getting too heated. This isn't Casey Kayak Rant and Rave. This is Casey Kayak Fishing. We are going to put a link in the description down below to the website, which is www.pacificyakangler.com. Be sure to check them out. And as well, we are going to put some links in the description below to other pro staff members who have made their own YouTube videos and reviews of this rudder too. There might be something in there that we missed, maybe an oversight, or they might have different ideas and opinions as well. So be sure to check them out. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Till next time, catch you later.